you doing, guys? Welcome back to Coffee and Juice. So I just put up what my blood work is, and you can kind of see the metrics that were recently taking on me regarding my blood work. So now the question is, because it seems that testosterone replacement is something that interests people, is that how was I able to get this high of testosterone and this low of estrogen? All right, so the first thing you're going to look at is you're going to look at my testosterone to estrogen ratio, which some are going to say is a little excessive. So now we got around over 3,000 nanograms per deciliter on the testosterone. And then we have a pretty, which is to me is impressive, regarding where the estrogen lies, regarding being at that high of the spectrum of testosterone. So now the question is, how did I achieve this? And once again, there's something called biodiversity. Biodiversity means that I'm different than you, you're different than me regarding internally, externally, so on and so forth. So now let's start off with the base of pretty much any course of treatment is going to be testosterone. So now the testosterone, the way I set it up is going to be interesting. So what I do is once per week, I use a product called Nebido. Nebido is testosterone undecanoate, which is a very slow-acting ester. I do 100 mg per week. Now, normally when it comes to this particular compound, you go to a doctor, they draw the whole thing out, and they ping you. Because the thing is that it will spread out very slowly into your body. But once again, I do it a little different. For now, these numbers that you see, you have androgel, 50 mgs transdermally, applied every day. So we have 50 mgs a day. Once again, I'll do some math for you. So that's 350 milligrams per week regarding testosterone transdermally applied. Then you have the Nebido, which is 100 mgs per week. I also do a little bit of TRT plus, and I do Rimabolin. Okay, some of you know what is Primobolin, 1 mg or 1 ml per week. Now, regarding estrogen, what do I use as a blocker, quote unquote? Well, what I use is I use Aromacin, 25 milligrams, once per week. Then also another thing that I add, because once again, at my age, obviously I'm not going to be Mr. Olympia, but I want to be functioning, I want to be healthy. You want to be sexually primed if there's any events that are going to occur. So now, as a tractor trailer probably is going to run me over, what I also use besides the Aromacin to offset the potential estrogenized side effects is going to be something called Proviron. So now 25 mgs of Proviron per day is going to kind of help working that estrogen to try to keep it down. So your Aromacin, you have the Proviron, and then we have our testosterone and testosterone derivatives. So now, when it comes to the palooka or your hair, obviously if you follow the channel, I try to keep the wig piece in place. Obviously I'm genetically predisposed, but also at the same time, I'm someone who's been a TRT patient for around 17 years. So once again, keeping your hair and playing with androgens, you know, is almost an impossible juggling act. So now when we go a little bit deeper on what I do or what I take, and once again, these are not recommendations, this is just my anecdote to you. We talk about pre-workout. Everything that I take has lines, meaning that it's prescribed in the country that I'm in, the country that I come from, whatever the case is. I do not do underground laboratory stuff. Now, for a lot of my younger guys or just guys in general who, you know, have the proclivity to go, you got to do tren, you got to do master on. The problem is you can't. But I always go back to this. What's the authenticity? And what's the credibility of where you're getting this particular compound from? And you're putting something, an unknown, into your body. So once again, at my age, I don't need any jammers to occur. Pharmaceutical grade. I don't play that game at all. All right, so now as we look to move forward regarding the cycle, we talk about pre-workout. It's some type of Adderall-based product. I'll put it to you like that, okay? So it keeps you stimulated mentally while you're training. It keeps you locked on. It keeps you focused. Also, stiff cup of coffee could help you. That's why the channel's called Coffee and Juice, if you haven't figured that out. And this is what I do regarding achieving these particular numbers on my laboratory work. Now, regarding my liver, it's good. And if you truly want to test your liver correctly, you probably got to take a week off from the gym, because what happens is that there's a dumping off process that if you train hard, you will basically, your enzymes will rise. So now, hopefully you got something out of this, basically my overview of what I'm taking.